and welcome to Money, 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 your weekly personal finance date with me, Surabhi Upadhyay. Now, earlier this month, you would have seen our conversation on child plans, which are types of ULIPs or unit-linked insurance products. Earlier, ULIPs were a very, very bad name. They were associated with high costs, high charges, and weren't advised by most of the independent financial advisors out there. However, things have gone through a change, and new online ULIPs which are coming out, which are called new age ULIPs, they do seem to be offering at least some reasons why you might want to consider them. And that's exactly what this show is all about. We bring you the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that are still associated with this four-letter acronym ULIPs. My guest on the show is Kshitij Mahajan, co-founder of Complete Circle Investments. Kshitij, thank you very much for joining in. Always good to get a conversation going with you. Now, I remember through my own journey with Money, 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 I mean, none of you guys, all you experts out there, nobody would say that, look at ULIPs. It was always pure term plan and then look at your investments through mutual funds.
Right.
That seems to be changing.
Right.
Tell me more.
So, interestingly, what has happened over a period of time, and thanks to regulators, that they have come out very strongly on these ULIPs, because the charges which used to come, it always used to be sold in the market as an investment plan with very high charges, as high as 25–30% sometimes. So, client after 5 years will hardly used to make returns, irrespective of markets have been doing well. Now, with the new avatar of ULIPs, which we call as fourth generation 4G ULIPs, it has gone through a lot of churn in the best interest of the end user also. And at the same time, we all know the tax efficiency is with insurance as a sector. So, as a product category, as a product basket of ULIPs, they have come up a long way, where the charges or their annual fees are as low as direct plans of mutual fund now. Where I'm saying most of the ULIPs are good quality offers. ULIPs are at 1.35, 1.25 of charges, where they promise you to return the mortality charge also. Now, you will say 0.2, 0.3% on a yearly basis will not much of a difference, but on a yield, if you actually calculate for 10 to 15 years, it will make a difference of 2.5 to 3%, which is a big amount, because every year you're paying 0.2%, 0.3%.
But at the outset, let me, put the definition out there. When you say new age online ULIPs, this means that these are only products which you have to click and buy yourself on a website or through an app. These are not available with distributors?
Oh, they are very much available with distributors. But at the same time, when you buy these products through distributors online or you buy on a physical, in a physical way, the cost otherwise is, there's a difference of cost in both the ways also. So even nowadays, everybody is insisting to buy it online only.
So even if you have an advisor advising...
Everything I did for him, and no matter what, nothing was ever good enough. He was...
You make sure you do the online purchase and not the actual physical submission of forms.
Right. Okay. And if you know the product very well yourself, then you can go and buy directly from the manufacturer. So, it totally depends on how much knowledge you have for the product, because insurance as a field is much vast, because you can actually miss on the right product, and you can actually end up buying maybe long-term plan.
Insurance is a minefield. I can definitely say that. So let's come back to understanding these new age ULIPs. There are 3 or 4 main charges, right, that are typically associated with these kind of products. So how have they now moved down lower, and what is the average prevailing charge?
So mainly policy allocation charges or administration charges.
Policy allocation charge was a big charge.
It's a big charge.
Earlier, I think, way back before the regulation changed.
In 2010.
This used to be very, very high.
Yeah, 20 to 60% in some cases. So, you pay...
60%?
Yeah, in some cases.
Your?
That type of commission which they used to make, they used to pay to the partners also.
So 60% of the premium that you were paying would actually...
go in policy allocation charges.
Which is nothing but a commission, which is fancy word for a commission.
Well, you can say in a way, but that means that the type of allocation charges which used to go, client hardly used to make return. In some cases 20%, 25%, 30%. But after 2010, the regulation has changed. And to my surprise, irrespective of the same thing happened in 2010, the changes in the policy started coming after 2014 only. In terms of they have changed the policy charges, but now it has become very, very competitive with regard to markets as well as with regard to investments in mutual fund also.
So policy allocation charges now in the new plans, they have come down to what levels?
So in equity, it's 1.35. In debt, it is 0.75. Depending on, you can say it's range between 0.75 to 1%. In equity, it is 1 to 1.5%.
So that is, and this is a percentage of the annual premium that you're paying.
Right.
That's a dramatic drop over the last, 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one is this.
One is this premium allocation charge, and then as you mentioned, the administrative charge.
Administrative charges. Now, as per the regulator, first of all, I wanted to tell you that irrespective of whatever amount of premium which you are paying, it can be more than 6,000 rupees per policy. It can be for 1 crore or 2 crore or 3 crore, any amount. So, but the administrative charges have also come down very drastically down to almost, in some cases, 400, 500 rupees also. So they have also come down very drastically down, and it has make it, if you actually see out of 100 rupees, if your 60, 70, 80 rupees is going in charges only, what type of money
then
you generate?
What kind of investment are you really making?
So
now in these new ULIPs, out of 100 rupees that you're paying as premium, how much will actually get invested in the market, and how much is the charge or the fees?
So on a higher side, it can't be more than 3 to 4% or a maximum 5%.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying for the first year part. And second year onwards, it will.
I mean, the very early days, I'd have meetings with NASA and they were like, oh, yeah, whatever, it's internet guy,
Go further down.
It keeps tapering off.
It keeps tapering off further down.
Okay.
And just to add, at the same time, if you hold it for a given time, every policy has a different time frame, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. If you hold it for that time frame, let's say 10 years, they'll return you back the entire mortality charge which they have charged. It depends on
if you survive the policy term, obviously.
Yeah.
Then this mortality charge.
Right, will be returned back to you.
Oh, okay.
So will be returned back to you.
That's an advantage.
That's an advantage.
Okay.
So I will categorize this in 5 main advantages, which this avatar of 4G ULIPs are having.
4G ULIPs.
4 generation ULIPs. 4 generation ULIPs.
Okay.
And this is very interesting. One is it is more flexible in its approach. Like anybody who's coming in new doesn't want to participate on the equity side of the market, he can just keep it with debt. And somebody who's evolved, he wanted to participate in the equity side of the market because the policy is for 10-15 years. He can park in equity. At the same time, there are unlimited number of switches that you can do between these two assets.
You want to change your asset class, you can do that over the course of the life of the policy.
Yeah, and there is no short-term capital gain which is incurring.
Yeah.
So that's again a very important part. When you switch from one side to the side, there is no gain which is incurring.
No, tax I think is a really, really important point. There's no short-term capital gains, and if you remain invested at the end of it, there is no long-term capital gains either. And that's a massive reason why there's this contrast now that's being drawn up between mutual funds and ULIPs. We need to take a very quick break. But we've only just gotten started. So we've established that costs have come down dramatically in ULIPs. We've established that tax is a major reason why ULIPs do end up scoring over mutual funds. But then there are other factors you need to consider as well. What about the sort of returns that you can make? Which are the products that are doing well? Are all new ULIPs doing well? Probably not. We'll get you the answers on the other side.